Hello and welcome to One Brain Ops. As the opening movie is going to play in the background here, I'm just going to kind of talk over it and explain what this is. So, welcome to my next project, which is going to be a new series here on One Brain Ops. And this is going to be a walkthrough of Fire Emblem Radiant Dawn. This particular video is going to be episode 0. So not the official start of the walkthrough, although it kind of is because programmers all know that you should always start counting from 0. But anyway, this is basically just to address kind of the mission statement of this series of videos that I'm preparing to make, and just explain what this is all going to be. So, first of all, why Fire Emblem Radiant Dawn? Well, it's one of my favorite games ever, and a game that I've played more than almost any other game. And, so yes, Radiant Dawn is a sequel to Fire Emblem Path of Radiance, and so it might make more sense to play Path of Radiance first, but I don't particularly like Path of Radiance. For one, it's way too easy, and so a walkthrough I don't think would be very enjoyable for me or really beneficial to anybody. Whereas Radiant Dawn is a much more difficult game. So I'm just choosing to skip ahead past Path of Radiance and show how to play Radiant Dawn. So this walkthrough is going to assume that you've played Path of Radiance already, but I will explain any story things that Radiant Dawn doesn't cover itself. For the most part, the game actually does explain for players who didn't play the first game what's going on, and anything that it misses I'll make sure to explain as we go. So if you are worried about being able to follow the story, you'll be fine. Okay, so that covers why we're doing this. So then the next thing is how I'm going to do this. So first of all, this will be played on normal mode, rather than hard mode. Now, I should mention, there's actually a bit of a translation mistake there. So the 3 difficulties in the English version of the game are easy, normal, and hard. But those versions of the game actually correspond to the Japanese normal, hard, and maniac modes. So English normal mode is actually Japanese hard mode. And the Japanese Japanese maniac or English hard mode, it makes things hard in a number of really annoying ways. So it doesn't allow battle saves, which would definitely be a problem for my walkthrough since I'm gonna need that to show off some various things. It also gets rid of the weapon triangle, takes away your ability to lock in enemy movement ranges, and it cuts all experience gains in half, and that's the big one for this. That last one makes it way more challenging to the point that it's really a completely different game on hard mode than it is on easy and normal. So, since this is intended as a walkthrough, I feel like anybody who's playing this on hard mode already, and we've reached the end of the opening movie, anybody who's already playing this on hard mode probably doesn't need a walkthrough of how to do it, because they will have already beaten the game on easy or normal. So, for me, I think that wouldn't really benefit anybody, whereas a walkthrough on normal might. Oh, now we're getting into the unit profiles here. Okay. Funny thing, I actually discovered when I was just testing things out here, there were some unit profiles in here that I'd never actually seen, so we'll see if I ramble on long enough that you'll get to see those. Anyway, so that's why I'm planning on playing this on normal, as I feel that that's a more representative difficulty for a walkthrough rather than, a let's play. This will be a second playthrough, so there are some exclusive things that you can only get on a second playthrough of the game, starting from clear data, and this will unlock all of those. So I will show how to get all of the second playthrough exclusives, with one exception. There is a base conversation between Ike and Soren that you get very late in the game that can only be unlocked if you meet certain requirements in Radiant Dawn, and you have a file transfer from Path of Radiance in which Ike and Soren had an A support. Now, I am deliberately not transferring data from Path of Radiance, so I won't be able to unlock that one. I'll still show all the requirements for it within Radiant Dawn, but that is the one thing I'll miss. The reason for not transferring data is that transfer bonuses to characters end up boosting their base stats, and depending on who you have transfer bonuses on from Path of Radiance, it can really change certain levels in Radiant Dawn. So, for example, in Part 2, if you have transfer bonuses to Nephany and Braum, it really, really changes the first chapter where they appear, which is 2-1. And as another example, if you have transfer bonuses on a lot of the Grail Mercenaries, it can make the beginning of Part 3 just extremely easy. And that's really not in the spirit of a game walkthrough. And it's playing the opening movie again. I'm going to skip that and just go back to the start screen here. And now it's going to actually play some different unit profiles the second time through. So, anyway, yeah, having those transfer bonuses in Part 3 on the Grail Mercenaries and on Ike and Soren, it makes it way easier. So it's just different, a different game, and I want to do this as a walkthrough and show sort of my strategies for beating these levels with the characters at their bases. Next thing I want to mention here, and yeah, the Light Mage battle model there is specifically Micaiah. That's kind of funny. Next thing I'm going to mention is that I will be playing this game through Dolphin Emulator rather than on an actual Wii. I do own a physical copy of the game and a Wii, but they are both at my parents' house. So technically they're not really mine anymore. They belong to my younger brother, and he still uses the Wii sometimes, so... Oh, there's Scrimmier. He still uses the Wii sometimes, so it kind of wouldn't be fair for me to take them away when I have an easy alternative like Dolphin. So that covers the how. The only other thing to really go over is I have a few what I'm calling self-imposed challenges for this playthrough. So first, I'm going to avoid some of the more broken strategies in this game. There are a lot of ways that you can kind of get through this game very quickly and beat a lot of levels and do some cool things that just abuse game mechanics. I'm not going to do those things. I will explain some of them, but like, for example, if you've played this game and you know the phrase beast foe crossbow, I'm not going to be doing that. I'm not going to be third-tiering Har in Part 2, and that sort of thing. I'm going to play this without using the more broken things, but I'll explain how some of them work. There's Raphael, and I think I missed Volig earlier. And now it's going into the opening movie again, so one more time we'll skip it. Okay. Next self-imposed challenge is that I'm not going to make any forged weapons in this playthrough. So, forging I've always felt was a bit too broken in this game. At least in the English version of this game, it was a bit different in the Japanese version. And maybe it was a little less broken there, but it's definitely easy to abuse in this game. So, there's Ike. So, I'm not going to forge any weapons in this, and then the last one, and this is going to be the biggest self-imposed challenge of this, is in this game there are 11 SS-ranked weapons that are obtainable, and there's a story event late in the game which allows every member that you have with you at that time to get one unbreakable weapon. So, my goal with this playthrough is to get all 11 of those SS-ranked weapons to be wielded at that time and be unbreakable, which is not going to be easy. So it really restricts who I can bring with me on my endgame party. A couple characters are actually going to be forced because they're the only ones who can wield certain weapons. And it doesn't give me a whole lot of flexibility with which units I can have in my party. And I'll go over more of that stuff as we go through the game and explain sort of how that all works. It's also going to force me to bring at least 2 more mages than I normally would bring to endgame, and that's going to be interesting because this game, magic is not very good, so we'll see how that goes. And I think this is the end of the unit profile, so I timed that pretty well. That was everything I wanted to cover, and yep, opening movie again. So thank you for watching episode 0. I hope everything made sense, and I'm really looking forward to recording this series, so I hope that you enjoy it. And with that, I'm going to go and record episode 1. Thanks for watching One Brain Ops.